What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Evening Alpha. It is a beautiful Thursday evening. Was kind of rainy today. Nice day for introspection if you have time for it. I don't, but maybe you do. No, it is always a busy day in NFT land. Let me tell you. How's everybody doing tonight? If you don't know who I am your wonderful host and your guide through this NFT roller coaster. My name is Todd. I'm the founder of a company called Adult Fantasy. We're a Web3 character-based entertainment company. So we're here to invent the next generation of character franchises, doing what we all wished would have happened in the 20th century, which is that the fans would have been recognized for the creators that they are. And we're giving not just power to the fans, but an actual stake in the things that are created and the properties and the characters that are created. It's a wonderful place to be in, and a wonderful space to be in too. So welcome along for the ride. You can hop in. All you got to do is go to adultfantasy.io. Check us out. We got a wonderful crew, wonderful team, with the best looking NFTs out there, in my humble opinion, and absolutely one of the best communities out there as well. So jump into our Discord, jump into Twitter. Don't be a stranger. Say hello. And speaking of saying hello, let's see who's here. Hey, we got Hedon. Hey, Hedon, welcome. How you doing? Yo. Coffee, what's up? Yo. Hey, yo. Carrots is saying evening, everyone. Happy evening. I saw that picture of you on that beach. That made me so jealous. So jealous. Yeah, it's been an interesting day. This week has been crazy, honestly. Like, it's just been wall to wall. I would say phone calls, but it's all Zoom now. Lots of meetings, lots of stuff percolating. Um, there's it's interesting. I really thought, I follow the markets, and last year was a bull run, and everyone knew, if you were really in it early, everyone knew that it was going to be a bull run year because Bitcoin ran on a 4-year cycle, and every single 4 years, it would be a bull run, and then you could actually track all the years leading up to that bull run. Like, everybody knew it, and it's always a guessing game when that cycle cracks. Meaning, are there enough people in the space? When is there enough activity in the space, both in crypto and in NFTs, when you can no longer track, right? Because sooner or later it becomes more like the stock market, where you just really have no idea what's going to happen day to day, minute by minute, let alone year to year. And I think that maybe, if you would ask me a month ago, I would have said, no, this is following the trends perfectly, but for another 4-year bull run cycle. But I don't know, man. It seems like things are kind of moving out there. There's a lot of interest in crypto, of course, and especially in NFTs. I'm talking to more and more people every day, business owners, entrepreneurs, investors, and the word is out. Like, there are, for every article that you see out there talking about Visa's doing something or this bank is doing something, let me tell you, there must be hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs and businesses right now, who are learning and figuring this out and planning to jump in, because just the people that I'm talking to behind the scenes, like, it's a flood. I mean, I can't even keep up. It's incredible. So you guys are here, right place, right time. You should pat yourself on the back for taking a shot. I can even tell you a story about I think I might have mentioned this in another stream. We had a meeting with our bank, and they were just starting to not do crypto, but they were just starting to take money out of our savings account, or they were recommending us not have fiat in our savings account and instead let them play with it in the market, because the ROI that they could get playing stocks, was a higher ROI than the savings account could provide because of inflation. So the whole industry is moving towards the understanding that you need to have that money playing, and you need to have those funds active, um, uh, in order to survive and in order to move forward and in order to grow. And that was one of the primary reasons I went into crypto on my journey. Right, it was when I realized that all I had to do was if all I did was take money out of my savings account and put it into something like a Voyager app and get I think it's like a 9% APY on USDC, I would beat inflation. I was like, if all I did was nothing else and just move the money over, I'm winning. And that was a huge revelation for me. And now I'm seeing it with a lot of businesses and a lot of entrepreneurs behind the scenes. It's very exciting, and it's really cool to see. So, hey, Dusty's here. Welcome. Welcome. So tonight I just have one story that popped out to me, and I wanted to share it because I find this stuff fascinating. In fact, let me pop it up. We'll check it out. So here, I'll get rid of that banner too. I don't need to pitch all the time. So the title is "Son of a Billionaire Buys Insider NFTs." This is really interesting to me. The perspective of people who don't necessarily have a background in fine art, and it really shines a light on where NFTs could be or how they could be seen. So let's look at this. So, Son of a Billionaire Buys Insider NFTs. Arnaud made a bid on 5 of the 10 rarest Hype Bear NFTs and won 3 of those bids. A few weeks after rumors circulated about the possible insider trading in recent Meebits NFT purchases, there are now speculations that Alexander Arnaud, the son of the third richest man in the world, might also be involved in using inside information to purchase some of the rarest Hype Bears NFT in a blind auction. Hype Bears are a new 10,000 digital best collection with unique outfits and apparel. The collection allows buyers to bid during the pre-reveal, which meant no one knew what each bear looked like. So it's just pre-reveal. Did Arnaud have prior knowledge of the Hype Bears? But it appeared like Alexander Arnaud, an executive over at Tiffany & Co., had an idea of what the bears looked like, unlike other bidders. This was because Arnaud targeted certain Hype Bears and was willing to pay more for those NFTs. He bid 32% more for Hype Bear 9021 and 58% more for Hype Bear 7777. He did the same thing for 7 other bears. When the identities of the Hype Bears were revealed, Arnaud bid on 5 of the 10 rarest Hype Bear NFTs and won 3, including 7777 and 9021. While this might have been a coincidence, the odds of him bidding for the rarest tokens are very low unless he knew them. According to Convex Labs, the odds are 1 in 440,000, making it very slim. Although there's no clear proof of insider trading, evidence suggests that. On February 10th, when Hype Bear was revealed, the creator of the Hype Bear project, Ernest Slow, tweeted a screenshot of him and Arnaud on a video call captioning it. "Great catch up, brother. Let's now check out our bears." There are suspicions that CO might have tipped him off during the video call, but it's impossible to determine as there is not any regulatory investigation into the matter. NFTs lack regulatory clarity. NFTs aren't considered securities, which means that insider trading rules don't apply. In a way, this has enabled bad actors to be involved in suspicious activities. Apart from that, the lack of regulatory clarity has also allowed these bad players opportunities to feast on unsuspecting individuals. Earlier this month, NFT Ethics called out certain investors on Twitter, claiming they bought Meebits NFTs based on non-public information. Most of them bought several Meebits a few days before Yuga Labs announced that it had purchased CryptoPunks and Meebits IP rights. Yeah, that was really curious. I wish I had known about that. I would have bought it. Arnaud's spokesperson has denied that he had information about the bear's attributes, but he was able to gain over $20,000 in profits after selling some of those rare NFTs in his collections. So all of a sudden today, people are talking about insider trading a little bit. Certainly the Meebits thing was curious. I think it was fairly apparent that some people knew something. Hey, studio, welcome. Yo, welcome. So before I give you my opinion on it and my take on it, I want to tie this to something we saw on Twitter today, or something I saw on Twitter today, which is the same conversation. So this is directed at Farouk, who's an influencer in the space, well-respected influencer in the space. I don't talk smack about people, so that's not what this is about. I am decoupling this from the directing of Farouk, and just talking about the idea of insider trading in regards to NFTs. Okay, so it's talking about Farouk. It says, when Farouk goes to jail for insider trading, I just want this tweet to exist. Congratulations to all those who got secret information about Azuki and profited. And so the discussion starts. His last Azuki purchase was 25 days ago, and the rest were over a month ago. Nice detective work, though. Like, people are like, oh, what the hell? So here's some counterpoints. It's not insider trading because NFTs aren't securities. Repeat this until either you feel better or people finally realize that they shouldn't play rigged games. This one, Ashley, says, it's not insider trading, it's coordinated alpha. Early people to the space made NFTs trend, then they create alpha groups that the market follows because they are trusted in the space. That's how it works. The influencers control the market behind the scenes, in my opinion. And then you have the counterpoint that says that this is illegal. So I'm very curious about what you guys think of this. I'm certainly going to share my opinion. Do you guys, let me know in chat, do you guys think this is illegal? What's your opinion on this? Like, is it okay for people to know insider information, or what? Do you think there should be regulations or some kind of law that stops this? What do you guys think? So let me know in chat, and I'd be curious to know. John Knopf says, it was pretty obvious Azuki was the next play. There's no alpha other than common sense. If there was any alpha, where the fuck was it? And why didn't I sell most of mine before the pump? Paul says, hey, John, while I respect you and your work, let's not act like Farouk and his squad didn't know about Nike with Artifact, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so there's some people suggest that it's happened more than once, right? To be fair, so many people started buying Azukis this past week that everyone knew something was coming. It was just about having the spare ETH to make the move. This is likely the best answer. The reason all these influencers keep buying the next big thing is because they have the bags to drop double-digit ETH on projects without a second thought. It's easy to pick winners when you're buying everything. And that is very true. That is very, very, very true. Let's see. So like I said, this is not a rag on Farouk at all. So here's my take. Yeah, people asking it like, why can't they be inside of insider trading? Here, before we jump in, I'll read a couple more. Well, is it insider trading if NFT NFTs are not securities and he is not involved in the project? If an owner of a project tells me willingly I'm going to do this and I make a play around it, is it insider trading? Also, it was pretty obvious Azuki was going to be the next to airdrop. Up only says, what secret information, majority of work that they had executed so far had been pre-announced, hinted, or publicly announced through different communication methods. Only times they've been incongruent to their words was when they had to pivot, which they still communicated. Azuki announced an exclusive Azuki holder event in LA weeks ago. They haven't done an airdrop yet, having done more volume than Clone X. It was due. I had no insider information and could have told you that that night probably something huge was going to happen. Cope harder. So this is really interesting to me because in fine art, there's no such thing as insider trading, but it's all about insider trading. In fact, hold on, let's see what you guys say. So Carrot says, I would need to know the specifics of this, but insider trading has a very specific definition, but it's more than just knowing information ahead of others. 100% correct. Carrot says, going to be interesting to see how this develops as the space grows. Yeah, and that's why I wanted to bring it up, because what's so fascinating is that in fine art, everything is insider information. Like everything is controlled. Everything is um, there are no coincidences. The artists that pop, it's controlled by select people. The every show, every artist that moves, every piece that sells, um, when an artist market rises, it's a controlled event. Like I mean, it is incredibly controlled. It's so controlled that even if you had 500 ETH, and you wanted to go buy a painting from a blue chip gallery in Chelsea in New York City, you don't get the first pick. Like it's so entrenched, and it's so deep and flush with cash that your money doesn't mean anything. No matter how much you have, you could be a billionaire and your money does not mean anything. It does not matter. It's because it's not about the money, it's about prestige and social connections. So a a collector who uh, is an influencer in the fine art space, for example, will get the choice pieces above anybody else. So if you had even more money than a top collector, maybe you had $2 billion to their $500 million, you still would get a lesser work by the artist you want, or you'd be placed on a waiting list. And this is because they give first dibs to the most influential people in their network who can uh, give the work and the artist a bit of gravitas by their connection to it, or place it into a museum collection, or lend it out to various shows around the world. Like I said, the collector is the influencer, and the the more influence you have, the more choice pieces you're going to get, and the better, the sweeter the information, insider information you're going to have, because you're an insider. It's not necessarily insider information; it's information because you're an insider. Does that make sense? So it's interesting to see that this is coming into the NFT space, especially because of how it relates. People are talking about insider information because there's a connection to um, crypto. And so crypto is a financial DeFi, it's financial, so insider trading is illegal. There are laws about it, all this kind of stuff. Except NFTs, or in at least this corner of the NFT market, is um, art. There's no insider trading in art. It's alpha. It's an alpha group. So let's see. There was one answer if I can find it. Yeah, it's what Ashley said. It's not insider trading, it's coordinated alpha. Early people to the space made NFTs trend, then they create alpha groups that the market follows because they are trusted in the space. That's how it works. The influencers control the market behind the scenes. That is 100% true. And it's also, even though Paul thinks it's illegal, it's not illegal because this is fine art. It's a digital asset. There's no laws, period. But even if there were, it would most likely fall on the side of fine art. Um, and it's not insider information or insider trading. It's trading information. Like it's the exact opposite, right? It's um, does it mean that most of us miss out? Well, it can, except that if you also follow those same influencers, I mean, honestly, like they're going after Farouk, but if Farouk is getting the inside information on, I don't know, Doodles or Artifact or Azuki or whatever on these projects, well, then you can find he has a show. Like you can hop on, you can join his group, and you can like listen to his Twitter Spaces, and you can get the same information, right? So maybe it pumps a day or two before he announces it. So what? Like you can still catch that wave. So um there is nothing illegal about it. It's just people misunderstanding the medium. It's not crypto, right? It's related, obviously. It's still tokenizing, but it's not tied to finance. They're not. It's not a security. So they get a pass. And this is why fine art, it's another reason why fine art is such a huge investment vehicle for the ultra rich, because they can do things like insider trading, or they can push their money into it, and it can act as a shield. It can act as a asset that can protect from taxes. You can ship it all over the world. Like it's an investment vehicle. Um, so I find it fascinating that this conversation is starting to happen, both from going after Rug Radio, and then you have this son of a billionaire and with a completely different thing. Um, let's see if there's anything else in here. Um, yeah, isn't the whole idea of blockchain that all insider trading is visible? If everything Farouk buying is pumping short after, you can copy trade him. Yeah, exactly. Um, Everyone sits in alpha channels to get into trades early, but when others do it, it's insider trading. Uh, let's see. This says, to be guilty of insider trading, you must be under a duty to refrain from trading on material, non-public information. Usually, duty exists because you work at the company. Even if NFTs were deemed securities, they haven't been yet. Farouk is under no such legal duty. Relax. Yeah, it's really open. It's really not going to be a big. I mean, there is no legal penalty for this at all. And even if it was to come, um, I don't think it would touch NFTs, right? The fear, of course, is that if people scream about it so hard, hey, we need regulation, well, then you're just asking for regulation. You know what I mean? Like, you're completely asking for regulation, and that's not necessarily a good thing. That's not a good thing. I know people like to say that crypto needs to be regulated, but I'm under the firm belief that those are the people also doing, CYA covering their ass because they don't want to be the one to fight it, because it's going to get regulated. So you might as well just say, yes, please regulate me harder, daddy. And like, you know, um, try to see if you can work the system or have some influence in what those regulations are. Uh, Carrot says, whether something is legal is different than whether it's ethical, but even that aspect of the discussion is not specific to crypto NFTs, as you've said. Right. Certainly, I mean, the challenge with ethics in this kind of like insider trading thing is like, what's the difference? And I agree. So to be totally honest, like I, um, I definitely feel like it's unethical, but it's a sliding scale. So I think, and I'm thinking about this as we're talking, like, I mean, if you think about it, if I have some insider information and I share it with you, that's probably unethical, right? Unless you're a friend, and then we do this all the time, right? Hey, I think this is going to pump, go get it. But if it's like an investor or something, then maybe there's a ethical question. Um, But then what's the difference if I share it with you, say, hey, I think this is going to pump, and then I go on a Twitter space and say, hey, I think this is going to pump, which is what everybody does, right? Um, and it happens to pump. Well, then A, is that insider information, and B, is it unethical? Because I've then you've is the ethic line, I guess. The question is like, in NFT ethics, is the line um the number of people that you're telling, right? Like, one of the reasons people are upset in this thread is because they didn't know about it, right? Like, if Farouk had been like, hey, I'm buying this, or I don't know what the context of this is. It could be totally something different. But if an influencer was to go out and say, hey, this is what's happening, this is a great team, yada 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 yada, I'm buying it, um is that also considered unethical, right? Because we all do that stuff, right? Um, Carrot says, "You bet this goes from black to white to shades of gray really quick." Exactly, right? So you have the son of the billionaire who bought these inside NFTs, Hype Bear NFT. Uh, Now I'll say this: uh, one of the things that I think is clearly unethical, like 100% without question unethical, is if you have, as this suggests, and we don't know, I don't know if I trust the article, but let's just take it at face value. Um, Although there's no clear proof of insider trading, evidence suggests that on February 10th, when Hype Bear was revealed, the creator of the Hype Bear project tweeted a screenshot of him and Arnaud on a video call, captioning it "Great catch up, brother." So um, if if a founder or a team member or an investor, someone close to the project says, "Hey, John, these are the special ones. This number, this number, this number." That's 100% unethical. And that, I don't know if you could say it's against the law, but that project should not be trusted. Like, that's not a good look, right? Um, it should be up to, I mean, one of the reasons why people are purchasing the NFT is for the opportunity to catch that really beautiful, rare blind box or that blind piece, right? They're looking for that. So to give insider information to an investor or a friend to say, "Hey, you should bid on this one," is unethical. Uh, Honestly, like, uh, that's why we think. I mean, like, what we do here is like, when is the minting is all randomized, so there's no way for us to know. And a lot of projects do that. It's not, we didn't invent that. A lot of good projects, the minting process is completely randomized and chosen at that moment. So there's no way to have any kind of like insider, like, "Hey, get number 1, 2, 3, 4." Like, um, but that's also takes more coding experience, right? I think if you get like any of these contracts off of GitHub and watch a YouTube video on how to do it, you probably, I don't know, but my assumption is that they're not that complicated. So you would know exactly what number uh, is the rare piece. So if you directly tell somebody what the rare numbers is, that's completely unethical. Again, is it illegal? I don't think so right now, but it's certainly unethical. With something like this, where you have an influencer just kind of saying, "Oh, it's going to blow up. Hey, John, they've got this awesome thing planned coming next week. It's going to blow up. It's absolutely going to blow." Well, again, I guess is it insider information if it doesn't blow up? You know what I mean? Like, okay, cool, it blew up, and a bunch of influencers made out, and a bunch of people that took the advice of this person made out. But it could have also not happened, or it could have also had a problem at Mint, or like the Bored Ape thing with their with the Coinbase Commerce, where they had major issues. Like, is it insider information if it turns out poorly, right? Um, hey, Degenza says, "Yo, what's up, Degenzas?" I love that username, man. That's great. Here for the NFT Alpha. Absolutely. Is this stream stemming off the Keith they knew before us tweet from on Basie, Meebits, Izuki, and Yep, pretty much. Pretty much. That's exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about whether this is, what ethics are in the NFT space, and really, is it legal versus illegal and to do insider information, or is it even a thing, right? Because it as I think as Carrot said, this goes from black and white to shades of gray really quick. So what do you think? Damn, Dickens's, dude, great name. What do you think, Dickens's? What's your opinion on this? I'd be curious about it. This person says Farouk always seems to be buying stuff that pumps after or has secret news get released later. Artifact Studios, Clonex, and now Azuki just seems super suspicious with his connections. Well, yeah, of course he knows. He knows that there's going to be events. You can't know that something is going to blow up, but what you can know is that a hot project is about to drop something, right? But then you can also copy these people. So if Farouk has insider information, you can just copy him. Like, go to his. All you got to do is like get to his address. His wallet's probably very easy to find, and just see what he bought today. And see if it's something worthwhile. Dickenson says influencers front running us is a shitty situation. It is. Um, but I gotta tell you, man, like, so here's the other thing. Like, one of the reasons why I've been able to amass a pretty good NFT collection is because I follow all of the influencers that I can. And the minute they start talking about stuff and pumping their bags, they go get it. Right now, I don't just jump and buy all of it. Like, that'd be stupid. But that was the reason why I got into Base E. I was pretty new. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think Basie was my first NFT, but it was pretty close. It was like one of my first few purchases. And the whole reason I picked it up is because all of the first thing I did when I hopped on Twitter and decided to like, I deleted everybody I used to follow pretty much, and only started to follow NFT influencers. And it just filled my feed. Like, they were all buying it and they were all pumping their bags. And I was like, all right, that's cool. Now I wish I had bought 10. I know people who bought 10. They were much smarter than I. But, um, you know, I don't think that stuff has always been there and it's always going to be there. And so it's actually a little harder now because now those same influencers don't talk. Like, I think the whole insider information thing, um, even before this, I think it's gotten to the point where, like, I'll usually see the same influencers start to pump stuff or start to show their stuff, um, when they're ready to sell, meaning like a day or two after they purchased, right? They don't just like buy and push. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but like last year, like the minute these influencers would buy something, they said, check out this thing that I got. You don't see that so much anymore. Now they'll buy it, they keep it quiet so that they can accumulate more or that they can go ahead and trade. And then once they're settled and they're confident in the amount that they got or the pieces that they got, maybe even the special pieces, then they'll start saying, "Oh, hey, check this out." It doesn't happen as uh, it doesn't happen as fast as it used to. So they are changing tactics in terms of how that insider information flows. Um, let's see what you said. Oh yeah, we're becoming their exit liquidity. 100%. Yeah, but you know what? I mean, it also makes an assumption. It also makes an assumption that they're exiting and profiting on the cap, right? Like, that they're smart enough to hit the ceiling, and that's not necessarily true. They have more money than us usually, right? So they can buy 30 bored apes or 30 Azukis and sell five and kind of make that exit, and still have a bag full of them. But I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. As I said before, definitely if what the one thing that I absolutely think is ridiculous and should be, if anything should be illegal, and I don't know if you could make it illegal, honestly. But having a founding member or a member of the team or an investor uh leak to a friend, hey, buy this specific number because that's the special one. That is 100% unethical. 100%. Let's see. Azuki is not a security. I don't know how it's going to be insider trading. Let's see what else. Uh, it's funny because people are saying that it's not insider trading, but Nike as a public company owns Artifact. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. I think we see a lot of more regulations when it comes to public companies being involved in NFTs. You definitely are going to see a lot more regulations on the crypto side because crypto is pure cash. NFTs are digital assets, and I think they fall closer to fine art. I could be wrong, but we'll see. Uh, let's see. Let's see if there's anything else interesting. Unless you have proof that he knew an Azuki airdrop was coming and either told others or bought Azukis as a result of gaining this info, then there's not a case here, even if NFTs were securities and governed by the SEC. I mean, everyone he's talking about the FBI. Like, come on, that's not even close to happening. Let's see. The team member owns a large collection of NFTs of a project. Is there ever an appropriate time to sell and not be considered insider trading? Or is all of the knowledge they have about the project considered insider trading? Um, So that's an interesting question. If a team member owns a large collection of NFTs of a project, and I am assuming it's like their project, is there ever an appropriate time to sell and not be considered insider trading? Yeah, I mean, that's a good question too. That's actually a really good point. So, um, so teams want to own their own thing. Like it's a good thing to have the team want to own the NFTs that they're selling. Like I would be very suspicious on personally, in my opinion, like I would be really suspicious of a team that like um didn't want anything to do with their own NFTs, right? Like I don't have a full collection of adult fantasy NFTs and I'm very tempted and soon I think I will try to get a few of them to round out my collection. With that said, the team we have it contractual in our contract. We did two things, like in our team contracts, not smart contracts, like our team contracts. The first was is that since the mint was blind, meaning we had no idea what we were going to get, right? It was programmatically impossible for us to know what number was going to be the, in our case, like the primordials. Like we had no clue. Um, and so we wrote it up in a contract that said, look, if any of the team members get anything above legendary, meaning if any of us got, I kind of move that GIF is hilarious. If any of us got a epic, uh, was it epic or above epic, so legendary or mythic, um, we could not hold legendary or mythic. So for us, it was like, okay, if we got legendary or mythic, then these things would move into the community wallet, and then we would just get a replacement, right? Because from our perspective, one, it could be seen as insider trading, right? Like it could be like, oh my God, you got something and you must have known. And the other part was that it's really not about us. Like the whole point is for you guys to be able to get that special thing. So, um, from my perspective, like I plan to collect all the pieces, but I probably won't, even though I'm really tempted to. I probably won't try, at least for a long time, to buy a primordial because it shouldn't be in my hands. It should be in your hands, right? Um, with that said, if you with your total, if you're a founder or you're a team member and you have a number of these NFTs, I think I think depending on the project and depending on the community that's in the project, I think you have to be careful. Like if if you were an Azuki, right? I'm just randomly picking something. If you were an Azuki and one of the founders had 300 NFTs and they just dumped them all at once, like the project would probably freak out and be in danger, right? Like I don't long term, I'm sure it might be fine, but it's a huge like, what the hell just happened? Like, why are people dumping? Why are the founding members dumping massive quantities of NFTs, right? Now, who knows what the reason? It could be an emergency, a family problem, no judgment. But it would be seen as like it would get people's attention and probably not in the best way. Um, with that said, I think it's fine to sell what you have. I do think if you were going to sell, if you were a team member, um, again, I'm just brainstorming here, but I do think if you were a team member and you wanted to sell a large number of them or more than I don't know. I'm picking a number out of a hat. More than 2 or 3 at a time or something, like you should tell the rest of the team so that everybody knows, and you should make it public. You should hop on Discord or Twitter or wherever and say, "Hey, FYI, on this date I'm planning to sell a few and here's why." So that you're, just being transparent about why you want to sell it, because there's really no it's not wrong to sell your stuff. Like you should be able to sell your stuff whenever the hell you feel like it, right? But perception's reality a lot of times. So that's a Beta has a really good question. I like that. That's a great question. If team member owns a large quantity or a large collection of NFTs of a project, is there ever an appropriate time to sell and not be considered insider trading, or is all of the knowledge they have about the project considered insider trading? Um, yeah, the knowledge. I guess I could sum this up too. Like the knowledge side, all of the knowledge about the project considered insider trading. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, the team knows everything. Like that's sort of the point. Like, like we're working on stuff right now that's going to be coming out 6 months from now, 2 months from now, next month, this month, like, well, April. Like, we know what's coming up because we're working on the project. But so there is insider information because we're the insiders of the project. But there's also, as I mentioned, there's also programmatic ways to make sure that you're doing everything you can to be on the up and up, right? Again, if you know everything about the project and you mint stuff, but the mint is programmatically blind so that it's impossible for you to determine what you're getting, that's not insider trading because there's nothing you can do. I guess you could hack your own system or something, but like, at the end of the day, you have to end up trusting the team. And I think it's interesting to me that people are going after Farouk for this. Market manipulation is unavoidable. Absolutely. But let's see if there's anything else that's good. If not, we can wrap this one up here. If these were securities, then it would be 100% illegal. But NFTs are a gray area that has no law, and as of now regarding this, so Farouk will most likely get off. See, again, they're assuming the word "get off" assumes that he did something wrong. Very unethical and very greedy, but not surprising. Okay, well, that's personal opinion. Don't forget Meebits and Basey and Clonex and Doodles. So again, yeah, insiders are here. They're going to win. They're always going to win because they're insiders. And they move markets. Like, it's just the reality of it. If you get one of these guys to back your project is going to sell out. And a lot of times, and I can tell you just from being on the other side of it, the other thing that's questionable ethics is that you have an influencer, and I'm not pointing fingers at anyone specifically, but you have influencers who say, hey, I really like your project. I'll help you sell it out. I'll help you promote it in exchange for 50% of the mint. Or there was one influencer who got 100% of the primary sales, 100%. So the team got all the secondary sales, but the influencer got 100% of all primary sales for their NFT. Now it's now one of the top tier projects, so you could argue that it was worth it. But influencers are going to influence. You know what I mean? It says, let's be real here. He's 100% right. There's insider trading, often referred to as alpha in this instance, but yet yes, but can't be a crime if NFTs are just pictures on a blockchain. Yeah. So I think we cover this pretty well. I think it's pretty obvious. Is there insider information? Absolutely. Is it ethical? Again, it depends. If you were to tell one person about it, is that less ethical than if you go on a Twitter space and say the same thing an hour later or something? So the best that you can do is one, if you're a project, you can make a decision whether you want to be involved with influencers and pay them or not. More and more projects are finding success and not paying influencers, which is great. The other thing you can do as a collector, as a holder, is to follow the pack. I mean, it's one of the oldest rules for investing, for venture capital, is like the big guys get the deal. The huge venture firms get the deal and get the best equity, and then all of the smaller firms and the smaller investors follow in. They all pile in. It's a herd mentality. It's sheep, right? But that's okay because these sheep win. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for as far as it comes for me, like I am pushing myself in every way that I can to grow my collection and try to curate the best collection I can. And the way that I do that, one of the ways that I do that beyond just researching my face off, is seeing what these influencers are talking about and understanding that if I have the liquidity, I should jump in, right? It's meant that, I track everything for on my side of things. So I even track the projects that I want to jump into, but I'm not liquid enough to jump into, just so I can better understand my potential success rate. Um, and my success rate is very high. Like, I very rarely do I pick losers, which is, knock on wood, that could change tomorrow. I'm not saying I'm a guru or anything, or an influencer, but I know how to follow influencers and read the tea leaves on that. So I recommend that. Like, let them do their insider trading, and you know what? You can be part of the crew. Follow them. Uh, you know, uh, if you have the liquidity when something drops, just get it. If you believe in the project, don't just buy it because influencers are pushing it. That's a recipe for disaster. Do your own research. But if you do your own research and the team looks good and the project looks good and their ideas are sound and you're stoked on the project and influencers are pushing it, it's a buy, right? At least for me personally. Um, Anyway, that's what I got for you guys tonight. Let me know what you think. If you're watching this on YouTube, please leave me a comment below. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're doing this every night. What makes us different is that I'm not a YouTuber by trade. I mean, you can tell by the channel, it ain't exactly like YouTube Central here. But you're getting the perspective of a founder of a project that's active, in development, launching, growing, lots of deals in the works. And so hopefully I can provide and give a little bit of value to you guys from a slightly different perspective than all the other people who are, just kind of on the outside looking in. So with that, thank you guys so much. I love you guys. What's that? Dickenzo's, what is this? Yeah, cheers, brother. Absolutely. That's that's the username of the day, dude. Dickenzo's is awesome. so with that, thank you guys. Love you all. Let's hop in the Discord. I'll be around. Probably gonna take a break. I'll try to pop in a little later. We got probably some Gartic games going, something else. But with that, I'll say adieu, and I will see you guys tomorrow. God bless, and hopefully you guys are on a beach somewhere, kicking it up on vacation for the first time in months. So, all right, talk to you guys soon. Peace out. Bye.